All right, what's happening, everybody? It's your boy Akeen, and welcome to the Pro Football Exclusive NFL blog. Here to talk about a crucial week in the NFL season, heading towards the end of the regular season at Week 16. Now, this is going to be a big week for some of these teams because playoff indications are on the line. And speaking of the playoffs, for fantasy football play, we are at the semifinals for most of your leagues. Here to give you some quick tips, last-minute tips for Week 16 of the NFL season, as well as my predictions for this week's key matchups. Starting with the game between Jacksonville and Tennessee. The Titans are still in the playoff hunt, trying to get that wild card slot at 7-7. They need to win out for the rest of the season in order to get a chance to make it to the playoffs. And I do like the combination of Maurice Jones-Drew of Jacksonville and Chris Johnson this week of the Tennessee Titans. I think this is going to be a good duel in this matchup for fantasy football play. I think both of them can get you at least 13 points in fantasy play. Overall, for the winner of this game, I'm going to have to go with the Tennessee Titans. I do not believe in Blaine Gabbert at the quarterback position for Jacksonville. He's still just a rookie, still learning the curving ways of the NFL, and still trying to make that transition from college to the NFL. And he has been struggling for the past couple of weeks, so I'm going to have to go with Tennessee's defense dominating against Blaine Gabbert. I believe that the defense for Tennessee could be a good fantasy sleeper this week for your defensive play in fantasy football. And I think with Blaine Gabbert struggling in this matchup, I think Tennessee will get the win and still increase their chances of making it to the playoffs. Next game to look at, Denver is going to be playing at Buffalo. Denver is actually ahead of the AFC West at 8-6. Tim Tebow time, he's having a great season, a lot of clutch comebacks, but they still they can still mess things up and not make it to the playoffs and not even win their division. And they need to stay a winning active team against a Buffalo team who has been struggling for the past couple of weeks. I'm gonna have to go with Tim Tebow leading a good rushing game with Willis McGahee in that backfield and help out the Denver Broncos win another game and still be ahead of the AFC West division. Next game to look at, San Diego Chargers is going to be playing at Detroit. San Diego is still in the hunt for the playoffs and even the division. I think this 7-7 team is making a good callback. They had a big win last week against Baltimore. I do like this game. I like Ryan Matthews going to be playing against the Detroit Lions defense, who have been giving up many yards running the football allowed in fantasy football play. So I think Ryan Matthews could get you some good, valuable points. Also, a lot of people rated Phillip Rivers to have a great game as well, at least 19 points in fantasy play. So definitely start both these players. Pretty much all your key big name players for your fantasy football play you must start. For this game, I'm going to have to go with San Diego over Detroit. It's just going to be a great game, a good grudge match, but I'm going to have to go with San Diego because they're hungry and they're really trying to reach the playoffs, especially earlier in the season where they've been struggling and a lot of people thought they weren't going to make the playoffs. A lot of people thought they were out of the playoff picture, but they clawed their way back in and they're still hungry. And with the big win against Baltimore, I believe that they're motivated to beat the Detroit Lions this week. Next game to look at, the game of the week in my opinion, the New York Giants against the New York Jets. In-state rivalry, playoff indications is in the line for both of these teams. They both must have a win in this game. Now for this matchup, I'm going to have to go with the New York Giants simply because of Mark Sanchez. He's a little banged up. Also, you never know what you're going to get in fantasy football play or even for the team for the New York Jets. He's not really a good consistent quarterback opposed to his opponent Eli Manning. He's a great quarterback, a true leader for this team. He obviously won a Super Bowl. That shows his great leadership. Plus, I do like the Giants defense, been stepping it up for the past couple of weeks. They struggled against the Washington Redskins, but I think they're going to bounce back against the New York Jets in order to clinch a playoff spot and even an NFC East division win. They really need Dallas to lose their matchup this week, and the Giants need to win their game in order to have a chance to clinch that NFC East division. So I'm going to have to go with the Giants over the Jets. But for fantasy football play, a lot of people are concerned about wide receiver Victor Cruz, the receiver for the New York Giants. He's not going to be playing against Darrelle Revis one-on-one, and the Jets give up a lot of yards up the middle in passing yards. So I think with a good mid-slot receiver like Victor Cruz, the salsa guy, I think he could get you some good fantasy points for this game. Even though the Jets do not give up many passing yards on the defensive side of the ball, I still think you should start Victor Cruz for this game because of his ability to catch the ball in the middle of the field, and that's their and that's the Jets' weakness in defense. But overall, I'm gonna have to go with the Giants over the Jets as the winner. Next game, the other NFC East game to watch, Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. This is simple for me. Dallas needs to pull off this win in order to stay ahead of that NFC East division and clinch that playoff spot and clinch the division. I'm going to have to go with Dallas in this game. It's at Dallas, and I really not really believe in Michael Vick and LaShawn McCoy getting everything all together on the offensive side. They have been bouncing back. They have been doing a lot better, but this time this game is at Dallas, and Dallas does remember what LaShawn McCoy did in their last matchup where he rushed for over 150 yards, and I think they're going to have that revenge game at Dallas in order to stay ahead of the NFC East division. So I'm going to have to go with Dallas in this game. Next game to look at, San Francisco is going to be traveling to Seattle. This is an easy pick for me. I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. They had a big win last week against Pittsburgh. I think they're going to stop Marshawn Lynch, the only offensive weapon for the Seattle Seahawks. If they stop Lynch, and they are the best team in stopping the run, I think they're going to have a good game, especially Alex Smith emerging this season, his best season yet under Coach Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to have to go with the San Francisco 49ers over the Seahawks. Next game, the Sunday night game between Chicago and Green Bay. I'm going to go with Green Bay in this one, even though they lost a surprising loss and upset to Kansas City last week. I think they're going to bounce back. Caleb Henry should be starting at quarterback for the Chicago Bears, and I don't think he's going to do well against that Green Bay Packer defense. Plus, Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay, they're pissed off about what happened last week, and they're looking to bounce back, and I really believe that they're going to win the Super Bowl this season after that loss. They're hungry again, and they're not going to play any games anymore for the remainder of the season. So I'm going to have to go with the Packers over the Bears. Next, the Monday Night Football game between Atlanta and New Orleans. I believe that this is going to be a playoff preview between these two teams. I think that these two teams will meet again in the playoffs. 9-5 is Atlanta, while 10-3. Well, 10-4, 11-3. I apologize for the New Orleans Saints. This is a good NFC South rivalry, a tough division of that NFC South. This game is at New Orleans, so because of that home field advantage, and plus the great season Drew Brees is having an MVP type season, I believe it's between him, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers that's the winner of the MVP award. I think Drew Brees is a great leader for this Saints offense and a great passer. He knows how to utilize all of his talent around him, and I think he's going to show Matt Ryan who's the better quarterback in this game, so I'm going to have to go with the Saints in this one. One more fantasy note for everybody. Shayne Graham, he just been signed in for the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to replace Billy Cundiff. Billy Cundiff is off for this game, and Shayne Graham is going to replace him for Baltimore's game against Cleveland. So definitely use Shayne Graham against the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore should post up a lot of points, giving Shayne Graham an opportunity to kick some extra points as well as field goals with that. So I believe that you should go ahead and start Shayne Graham this week for fantasy football play. Now, I'll catch you on week 17, championship week of fantasy football play, and the last week of the regular season. Thank you for watching this vlog from Pro Football Exclusive. I'm your man, the famous Hakeem McCall. Be easy.